You wake up in total darkness and something just moved. You can't see it. You can only hear it, a low dragging sound in the grass, close, closer than anything should ever be. Your fire went out hours ago, and out here, 100,000 years ago, that is a death sentence you might not survive in the next 60 seconds. So how did any of them make it to morning? Stay with me, because the answer is a single strange habit that saved your entire species, and you almost certainly did it last night without knowing why. Let's get one thing straight. You were not the hunter. For most of human history, you were the hunted. In the caves of Swartkrans in South Africa, a scientist named C.K. Brain spent years sorting through shattered fossil bones. Brain, whose most famous work is literally titled The Hunters or the Hunted, found something that should stop your heart. The skull of an early human relative with two neat puncture holes punched into it. He measured the gap between those holes. It matched almost exactly the spacing of the lower fangs of a leopard. Your ancestors weren't being buried in those caves. They were being eaten in them, dragged up into the branches in the dark and consumed. Does that change how you picture the mighty caveman? It should, because here is the truth nobody tells you. In the daylight, you had a chance. You had numbers, sharp eyes, and rocks to throw. But at night, night did not belong to you. Think about what you are actually up against once the sun drops. A leopard sees far better than you do in near total darkness. Lions hunt most successfully on the blackest, moonless nights when there is nothing to give them away. Hyenas move in packs and can smell a sleeping body from far off. And you are soft, slow, and clawless, lying flat on open ground with your eyes shut. You have no fangs. You have no armor. So what exactly is supposed to keep you alive? For a long time, everyone assumed the answer was fire, and fire mattered enormously. At Wonderwork Cave, also in South Africa, the researcher Francesco Berna found burnt bone and ash sealed in sediment nearly 1 million years old, some of the earliest solid evidence of humans controlling fire. Harvard's Richard Wrangham argues that fire did more than cook food. It pushed the predators back to the edge of the light and finally let us sleep on the ground instead of clinging to trees all night. But hold that thought, because fire alone does not explain it. Fires die, rain drowns them, and the danger never waited for a dry night. So what filled the gap? This is where it gets strange. A sleep scientist named Jerome Siegel wanted to know how humans slept before alarm clocks and electric light ever existed. So he went to people who still live close to that ancient rhythm, the Hadza in Tanzania, the San in Namibia, the Tsimane in Bolivia. He wired them up and watched them sleep. And here is the twist that flips everything you assume about a good night's rest. They did not all sleep at the same time. Their nights were staggered. Another researcher, David Sampson, pushed this further with the Hadza. Over hundreds of hours tracking a sleeping camp, he found something astonishing. Across the whole night, every single night, there was almost never a moment when everyone was asleep at once. Someone was always awake. An older woman stirring at 3 in the morning. A man rising to feed the fire at 4. In more than 200 hours of data, the entire group was asleep together for a grand total of about 18 minutes. 18 minutes? Do you see what that means? Without ever planning it, without a schedule, without anyone standing guard on purpose, your ancestors ran a natural night watch. Scientists call it the sentinel hypothesis, and a sentinel is simply a guard, a lookout. And the guards weren't the strong young hunters. They were the old ones, the grandparents, the ones who woke at the smallest sound, slept lightly, and could not drift back off before dawn. The exact people we would call terrible sleepers today were the reason everyone else woke up alive. Let that reframe the whole picture. It was not the biggest body or the sharpest spear that carried your species through the dark. It was a mismatched crowd, sleeping in shifts they never agreed to, so that the fire never fully died and no scream ever came without a witness. Weakness spread across a whole group, became strength. The light sleeper was not broken. The light sleeper was the alarm. And now, the part that reaches across 100,000 years and touches you. Have you ever wondered why your grandmother is awake at 5 for no reason at all? Why a teenager can't fall asleep before midnight but a 60-year-old is wide awake at dawn? Why you jolt upright at the smallest creak in an unfamiliar room, heart already pounding? That is not a flaw in your body. That is the night watch, still switched on. You are the descendant of the ones who woke up in time. Every human who slept too deeply to hear the leopard, their line ended in the dark. Yours did not. So the next time you snap awake at 3 in the morning, listening to a silent house, don't curse it. That is not insomnia. That is 10,000 generations tapping you on the shoulder in the dark, whispering the one habit that kept us all alive. Someone has to stay awake. Tonight, for a few minutes, it's your turn.